All right, so if you've joined us, you know that we're on YouTube now. Just type in Blitz Creek on YouTube and you can find us. We're also available on Spotify and Apple. We really appreciate if you'd share, like, and comment. That really helps boost our ratings. Today we sit here, we were trying to do video, but we don't have enough capability to do so, but there'll be a picture to go along with this. You'll be able to see it. We're here at Be Noodled getting this recorded today. First off, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Appa Bagworks and The Well, and our one and only trusty barber we go to, Old Town Barbershop. We really appreciate them. So, today I'm here with the late, great, I don't know why I said late, but the great Josh Thompson.
I feel dead inside, but I'm happy to be here. I'm sure once this gets posted, it will be after my birthday, but today is my birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
I am 24 years old, or 42, whichever one you want to call it. But yeah, happy to be here and happy to be back on Blitz Creek.
So this is going to be number 2 of season 3. If you haven't checked out the first one's the first interview with Coach Padgett of Tazewell High. And we've got 2 other coaches lined up. So check back on the next 2 Mondays and you'll get those coaches' interviews. So let's just go ahead and get started with today's podcast show, however we're going to say that. Bonnie Ray's playing in the background, got a little distracted, sorry. All right. We're going to go over some rankings, starting with the Southwest District, then we'll move into the Mountain 7. And this is week 0 for high school football because we have a game to talk about coming up this Thursday night. This one will be posted the day of that game. So here we go. In the Southwest District, let's start with bottom and move our way to the top. So who do you think is going to be last place in the Southwest District?
Well, I'd like to think that things are looking better in Marion, but I'm not quite sure if that's the case. I think they have an opportunity to prove me wrong, but you'll kind of see with my rankings, it's kind of more of prove me wrong, and we'll go from there because I think given the fact that Marion was what they were last year, they've got a lot to prove in order to change my mind about them being number 6 in the Southwest.
I'm with you. They've got the new coach. They're still implementing the wing T, I guess you would say, or however they're going to run that offense. I think there's still some questions there for them, so I'm with you in agreement on Marion being number 6. For me, this is where I have trouble. Who you putting in? I'll start, since you started. I'll go with 5. So number 5, this is a toss-up for me. It's really hard for me to say. I'm going to take Richlands here. I think it's a toss-up between the next 2 teams, but I'm going to take Richlands at 5.
I'm going to take Richlands at 5 too. I think that they've still got a lot to prove, being able to stop people on a consistent basis. Their defense, I think, is going to need to step up its game from last year, and its offense got better as the season went on, but the defense was still not able to get consistent stops. So I think I like Richlands at 5 too.
All right, who do you got at 4?
Number 4, I've got Tazewell. I think Tazewell's going to go through some growing pains. They've had a consistent run of being a playoff team, above 500 team, or 500 or better over the past 5-6 years. But I think realistically, given the kids that have graduated, I know Tazewell's going to be big up front, but there's a lot of skill positions that need to prove themselves. You're going to have a new starting quarterback for the first time in 4 years, and I think that's a lot to deal with, especially with new coach, sort of a new system going on there. So I like Tazewell at 4.
I'm with you on that. We haven't talked about these rankings at all. I think there's some hope in this, and maybe we squeak out a win on 2 or 3, and that might move us up in the rankings. It could happen. Our defensive front is big and can move, as you will hear in Coach Padgett's interview. He's really excited about it. He compares them to the 2022 Patrick Henry team. So I think if they can become cohesive, they might be able to make some noise, but right now I think they're number 4. So I'll go with number 3. This one's a toss-up for me. I'm taking the Pioneers. I think the Pioneers have a chance to upset Graham, but I think V-High is still their kryptonite and gets a hold of them in the regular season. I know they return the quarterback, Reese. I know that they return the running back, who's a bowling ball. He's phenomenal. But there's still some questions on defense and with some of the wide receivers graduating. So we'll see what happens with the Pioneers.
Yeah, I like Lebanon in this spot too, just because, and like I've said before, you kind of have to prove me wrong here. Lebanon's going to have to travel to Virginia High to play, and I just really think that Lebanon, they're going to need to score against Virginia High on a consistent basis, and they're going to have to stop Virginia High, and Lebanon didn't do that in the 2 meetings that they had with them. Otherwise, Lebanon's a totally different team last year, but I like Lebanon in a prove me wrong kind of way.
So number 2, I think we're both going to agree, but who you got?
We got Virginia High at number 2. They proved it on the field last year. They don't have everyone returning, but they've got a lot of skill guys coming back, and I think with a team that had a fighting chance against Graham, I think Virginia High's kind of poised to kind of take another step. One that I wasn't really. I never thought that Virginia High would have taken that step last year. I thought Lebanon was the team that was going to do that. But like in the rest of my rankings, prove me wrong, Virginia High. Or prove me wrong, Lebanon. And, we'll go from there.
Yeah, my number 2 is V-High 2. Returning of the – I believe I'm correct in this. They returned their quarterback, which is a very big difference maker there. There was – in the past, that 3-3 stack has gave Graham some issues. And if V-High can cause any problems when it comes to Graham, they may end up being number 1 in the district. But they didn't prove that last year in the playoffs. They didn't prove it in the regular season. So this is your chance, V-High. Step up. Let's do something. But right now I got the Bearcats at number 2. Then we come to number 1.
It's Graham.
And for me, the question is quarterback. You got Bradshaw and Palmer in the backfield. You can call that thunder and lightning if you want to, a big back with a speedy back. There were some issues during the scrimmage they had against Allegheny, I think is who they scrimmaged.
Is that Appomattox?
I wanted to say Appomattox, but I think it was Allegheny.
Okay.
There was a scuffle. I think they ended up with 2 scuffles in that game. And then the second one, they ended up just stopping the game and sending them on home. So
that sounds about right. That sounds about par for the course for Graham.
But but the main concern with them is their quarterback play. If you can stop the run, can the quarterback make plays? They've got wideouts. They've got the skill positions. I don't think there's any question on defense they're going to stop people. So that's where I'm at on Graham. Questionable on the quarterback play.
I think the question remains with the quarterback as well. I mean, we talked about it last year, whether or not they were going to be one quarterback or the other quarterback, which one gave them the best chance to win and they won a state championship.
Can we get a kid's water?
And I just I think that Graham has all the makings to repeat a Southwest District champion. I don't know if they're, what their prognosis would be moving forward in the playoffs, but in a reoccurring theme for all of my rankings is if you're going to be the man, you have to beat the man. And right now, Graham's the man, and they'll either prove me right or prove me wrong.
Right. Now let's move over to Mountain 7. I feel like this one's moving fairly quick today. So I had you start off on Southwest. I'll start off on the Mountain 7. As much as I love this school, I don't see them moving up this year at all. And that's John Battle. I think Battle's still got some spots of concern that they got to figure out, which is quarterback and some spots on the defense. So right now I got Battle at 7.
I've got Battle at 7 too. I think that Battle's always a game football team, and I foresee Battle with maybe an upset here or there. Battle is really going to, their season's going to be determined on their first 3 or 4 games, first 3 games. If they can come out of the first 3 games 2-1 as opposed to 0-3 or 1-2, then the prognosis or the kind of trajectory for their season is totally different.
I agree. Who you got at 6?
At 6, I've got Y Central. I think Y Central still has too many questions at too many positions. That they were going through some growing pains last year, doing some new things, going from a wing tee to a spread, and I think that there were spots of really good play, but it just wasn't consistent enough. They're going to have to be way more consistent this year to be competitive, not just win football games.
And I'm with you on that. I think Wise, if I said UVA, I think Wise Central is at 6 again, with everything that you said. After that, I'm going to 5, which I'm putting Lee. I'm putting the Generals there. They have, is it Pendergraph? Is that the name of the quarterback from last year?
Yes, it is.
He graduates. You still got Brother there. So there's questions there. Their defensive line looked okay against Tazewell in the scrimmage, but the offense was moving not as well as it could have as last year. Hopefully we're saying Tazewell's defense is improved, but we'll see when it comes to game time. So I got Lee at 5.
I've got Lee at 5 as well, and it's mainly because I think Lee just doesn't play a competitive enough schedule to compete in the Mountain 7. So while they may look good at some point during the season, I'm just hesitant to move them up in the rankings because they just haven't proven it against good football teams. They're going to play 6 conference games or 6 district games. The other 4 non-district games are going to be weaker opponents, and sometimes their schedule their record is inflated with the strength of their record. So Lee will have to prove me wrong before I give them props in the upper echelon of the Mountain 7.
So number 4. Who you got?
Number 4, I've got Gate City. I think it's a toss-up between Gate City and Ridgeview. Ridgeview's always got athletes, and I think Gate City is getting in that spot too. I'm not necessarily sold yet on Gate City and their consistent play. You've got to be consistent week in and week out, especially in the Mountain 7, because you don't get a lot of breaks when you've got Abingdon and Union and Ridgeview and Gate City's also going to throw in some Tennessee teams as well. So they don't get a break, and they're going to have to become way more consistent on a game-to-game basis before they kind of step up into the upper third or fight for the top 2 spots in the Mountain 7.
So for me, I've got Ridgeview at 4. They're senior heavy. They lost their quarterback from last year. He graduated. They've got some skill positions they got to fill that some kids that haven't played there. They're also sophomore heavy, so still some answers there for Ridgeview. They're always good. They're strong. They have a huge following that's going to support them. So that's where I'm at. Number 3 for me, just because of who they are, I'm taking Gate City. I think that they're going to improve and be able to handle business this year and come out realistically number 2 in the Mountain 7, but number 3 in the official rankings.
So for me, number 3 is Ridgeview. I think that Gate City has a chance to change the whole narrative for me and beat Ridgeview. But I think that until Ridgeview loses, I'm going to take Ridgeview.
And in my picks, I'll probably pick Ridgeview until I see problems coming. Number 2, they have a tight end that has committed to UNC, and there's questions at quarterback because the quarterback graduated. They were really strong last year in 2A, but in 3A, they just can't seem to get over LCA. So where I'm at, I'm taking the Abingdon Falcons at number 2.
Okay, so at number 2, I'm going to take the Union Bears. I think Abingdon has the skill to beat Union. They're also built to beat Union. They're just built to beat Union and play Union as tough as anybody. And I think until Union can beat Abingdon, which is not out of the realm of possibility. I think it's a toss-up. I mean, we're probably talking about a pick'em game between the two. I just like the fact that Abingdon made a little bit of a run. They got a little taste of what it takes to make a deeper run in the playoffs in 3A, and that experience I think will pay dividends later in the season this year.
I'm taking Union at number 1. Last year they were really good. Abingdon struggled with Union last year. Abingdon has lost some key players. Union has not lost key players. The running back, quarterback is back. They still have skilled players at wide receiver. I think Union is, if they're ever going to make a state run, this is the year to do it. They've got all the pieces to do it. So if I had to pick a preseason favorite, it would be Union. But as we know, Graham is always going to be in the mix there as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Union looks like on film and kind of compare from last year to this year. Obviously, Tazewell plays Union this year for the first time in the regular season in a long time, if ever. I can't
ever. I've never seen them.
I've never seen Tazewell play Union or hear of Tazewell playing Powell Valley. No. Even when you go back to the old Southwest District and some of those teams. So, I'll get a chance to watch some film on Union and see what I think in comparison to last year. I thought last year they had as good a shot as any to make a deep run, and they couldn't get over the Graham hump in the playoffs. So,
well, here's the good thing. If you want to know anything about Union, Graham plays Union at Tazewell, and then the following week, Union plays Tazewell at Tazewell. So you can watch Union play in Tazewell back-to-back weeks during the season. Just a quick reference point. If you are a Graham fan, you know you're playing on Saturdays at home against Lebanon, Marion, and V High. Please get on Graham Sports Network and check out the parking. If you don't have a parking pass, because they're doing parking passes, you might want to get there early because once the high school parking lot fills up, they're going to park you at Graham Middle School. I don't know if there's transportation for that or if you have to walk. So just keep updated at Graham Sports Network to make sure on the parking situation. This week on Friday, Tazewell will host Chilhowie in a benefit game. And Graham, I forget who they play, but they host as well on Saturday at 1 o'clock in a benefit game. But now, let's go ahead and get to week 0 of high school football. V-High travels to Richlands, as I'm sweating like a bandit right now, to take on the Blue Tornado. So, Josh, who do you got?
Well, I'll make no bones about it. I've got Virginia High on this one, but I think this is more of a measuring stick for Richlands than it is Virginia High. I think this is a chance for Richlands to change the narrative and the thought process for the trajectory of their season. If Richlands can come out and be competitive and play well against Virginia High, then what's the outlook for their season? How does that change everything? I think Virginia High, if they go out and take care of business, they hold on to the football. And we know that Virginia early in the season can be susceptible to turnovers and things like that. If they can hold on to the football and take care of business, then I think they win this handily. But like I said, this is a bigger chance for Richlands to show everyone in the Southwest District, Southwest Virginia, that they're no longer just a doormat per se, as they have been over the past couple of years.
What's the score?
I like Virginia High 24, Richlands 10.
Really quick, we've picked a lot of games the same, but there's some hype down there in Richlands. I'm going to take the Blue Tornado in a close one, 14-12. I'm not sure that'll happen, but if this is a loss here, it'll be hard for me to pick that way the rest of the season. So, Josh got V-High. I take Richlands. Now the last question is, where are you going to eat at on Friday?
Well, on Friday, I will actually be traveling to Blacksburg. So I am going to rep out Cabo Fish Taco on Main Street in Blacksburg. I'll be eating with my daughter and my wife and Tilly, yes, both of my daughters, because we will be rocking some gymnastics this weekend.
I'll be in the press box on Friday night, so I would advise you if you're in town. I mean, we have Be Noodled, we have Back of the Dragon, go get you some pizza or Italian Village. We got some great Mexican at Elmar's. Fisher & Company right now is taking a hiatus on dinner, so if you don't get there for lunch, you're not getting Fisher. But you can stop by the new place, the Wayfair, and they got great burgers and appetizers. So you can swing by the Wayfair, get you some food. So before we go, Josh, got anything else for us?
Nope, I'm just keeping my eye on Hidden Valley again this year just to see if the Hidden Valley Titans, I'm pretty sure they're the Titans, if they can pull off an upset or two this year and not get beat 90-0 or 70-0.
So there you go. We'll keep you updated on that one as well. All right. We appreciate you. And as we always say, like the barter tells you, if you like us, talk about us. If you don't, then keep your mouth shut. See you next week.
Go Dogs.